You're up. Go for it, Damon.
All right, we're being recorded, so on my best behavior. Here we go. No evidence. All right, appreciate you all coming. Today we're going to go over a little bit about business analysis. When I did my my speaking at I can't remember, where were we? In January, we went to Klein Peters. Wow, it's been a long month. So, Klein Peters, and I talked about a little bit about business analysis and things like that. And then I had a lot of questions about how to get started with business analysis. A lot of people, it appears, haven't really got into it or anything like that. And I think half my problem is I've done business analysis since I was 16, which is a long time ago now, because I grew up in the business world rather than photography. So it's always come second nature to me, and I just instantly put it across into my business. But a lot of you guys haven't really had the opportunity to do that yet. So I'm going to try and cover a little bit more, try and cover the basics on how to get going on it. Hey, Phil. We still got a few people arriving, but yeah, so it's going to be very basic today on how to get started with analyzing your business and the importance of it. We're not going to go too much into things like bookkeeping and receipts and all of that, because it's kind of boring. And I'll be honest with you, if you have a lot of questions about bookkeeping and what you should be keeping and what you shouldn't, I really recommend a CPA. They're not expensive, even though you might think they are. My CPA sees me once a year to do my taxes, and it costs me $120. And he finds every cent he can, corrects any issues I make. So we're not going to go into bookkeeping a whole lot, but we are going to start by covering a little bit on profit and loss. So just with a show of hands from the people that I can see, how many of you guys actually keep a profit and loss statement? Yeah. Phil, you're on mute, mate.
Please repeat the question.
How many people actually do a profit and loss?
Did one last year.
Yeah.
For 2021.
Okay. So I assume a lot of you are just reporting your income. When you do your taxes, you just, anything you shoot and charge for, you just report as an income. Is that, would I be right in thinking that? Okay.
But then we can take certain deductions too.
Yes, you're right. But a lot of people actually don't do it, which is strange. But yeah, so for anybody that hasn't done a profit and loss, you need to be keeping your receipts for everything, and you need to be including that in your taxes and reporting them as expenses, because they can be written off. And then you only get taxed on your profit rather than everything. So if you're not doing that, you've got to start doing a profit and loss just so you're not paying taxes on everything, really. Like I said, I'm not going to get into it too much, but the thing that I find really important with my profit and loss is so I can analyze where my business worked and where it failed, and where I can improve, and where I'm spending too much money and where I'm not making enough money. Now I use a system now, like a CRM system, which everything's now online. But I understand that not everybody has this. So I'm going to go back to how I very first started recording all of my incomes and outgoings and things like that. And it was with something similar to this. It's literally just a ledger. This I went and bought today at Walmart because I haven't used anything like this in a while, so I had to fake it a little bit. But this I think cost about $4, and all it is, it's just a book with graph paper in it, basically. And I forgot how easy this actually is to use. So when I make a sale or book a session, it automatically gets written down as an income. It goes into my system right now. But if you're doing it this way, you just write it down in there. Every time you get a receipt come in, it goes into here as an expense. And I will go into it in a minute so you can see it a little bit more. A lot of people get overwhelmed with recording stuff. They're trying to record it on spreadsheets on the computer, or they're getting months and months of receipts, which they then have to go through, and you just don't bother. You got receipts here, there, and everywhere, in your pockets, in your car, I don't know, wherever. I find best practice to do with expenses is weekly. And if you can set yourself 30 minutes a week, now that's just 30 minutes a week to input your expenses, this will be so much easier. So very basic. Can we see this? Yeah. I'm going to peer over the top.
Yes.
How professional I am. So this is always my first page, and this is, it's kind of telling me what my target is for the year. I always want to know what my target is for the year. It's how much I want to make and how I'm going to make it. So if you're trying to do this as a profession, it doesn't matter if you need to earn 450,000 a year, 45 grand a year, 10 grand a year, 2 grand a year. It doesn't matter how much you need to make. Targets are there to drive us and to give us direction. If we haven't got something to aim for, we end up just kind of floating around. So the first thing you need to work out is how much you need to make from photography or your business in the year. Now, if you're full-time, you are probably looking at around 45, 30, 45 plus. Some people are doing this on the side. You have other supplemental incomes, which is great. You may not even need photography as an income, but still set out how much you want to make from it. Maybe you want to go on a round the world trip that's going to cost you $5,000. That's your target, 5 grand. But set yourself a target. Then break it into 12 and work out how much you need to make a month. That's now give you a monthly target. It's really that simple. If you have last year's profit and loss and you know how much you did last year, set yourself a new target. I always opt for 10% increase on last year. That's my target. I want to increase my takings by 10%. That's my profit by 10% each year. My wife, she wants to go crazy. She always gives herself huge targets, and she does really well at achieving them. Set something that's good for you. There's no right or wrong with it. This is your decision. If anybody has a question, by the way, just flag me, just wave at me or something like that, just so I know you got a question. So feel free to get involved with this, as I'm just going to talk all night. I've got nowhere to be. I have, honestly. Okay, so here I've set myself, I'm going to pull the pages out, it's easier. I'm going to set myself a target of 45 grand. That was just a random number I came up with on this one. So monthly, that's 3,750. It's easy. So that's what a target is. But then we have to start aiming for it. I do mine by week, like I say. This, oh, which way do I go? So this is how I record things. Week 1, any sales I make go in here. Any expenses go in here. It's really that simple. I write everything down. I don't do it as I get them. I put all of my receipts and my invoices in a folder like this. So if I get a booking, I send my client an invoice and I hold on to an invoice. I print out an extra one. This folder was $4. No, this was $6. The book was $4. This is just segregated into 13 sections. So we're now in January. Oh, no, we're now in February, but January. Anytime I got an invoice, it went into January. Anytime I bought something, I put the receipt into January. And then every Friday, I just go through it and enter it all onto here. It's really that simple. Once every Friday. I don't touch it any other time. I go to Walmart, I buy printer paper. I go wherever, I go to Starbucks for a meeting. The receipts just get thrown in here at the end of the day. My pockets get emptied, my wallet gets emptied, and they just go into here. I don't look at them until Friday. And then Friday morning, I get up. First thing I do is I go through my receipts and I register everything onto my profit and loss sheet. And then at the end of the week, I total it all up. No, other way. These mirrored screens are confusing me. I'm not smart anyway, but mirrored screens are a nightmare. So all my sales and sessions that I booked are added up. That came to 3,300 or something like that. All my expenses are the way. There it is. Came to 216, and I made a profit of just over $3,000. It's as simple as that. If you have an online system like QuickBooks or GoDaddy or 17 Hats, anything like that, it doesn't really matter. You're just inputting it into a computer system rather than on paper. But if you don't have anything like that, go and buy a ledger and just write it down on it. It's the same thing, it's just not on a computer. And sometimes the ledger is easier to look at because you can just grab it and look at it. So don't be afraid to go old school. The other important thing I do at the end of each week is I have all of my profit and loss, all my numbers, but then on the opposite page, I write notes. And because I have a profit and loss, I can then write a to-do list for myself. Now, if you can all kind of see that. So I will look through my profit and loss. Oh, the other thing I didn't show you. I record leads. So every time somebody inquires, I write it down or I input it into my system somewhere. An S for a senior, a W for a wedding, and a H for a headshot. That's just inquiries. That's not how many I booked or anything like that. It's literally just inquiries. I want to know how many people are inquiring with me. Because then you can see I then circle the ones that book. So I booked 3 sessions out of those 8. That conversion is dreadful. Now this is made up. This isn't actually my profit and loss, but that allows me to look at my conversion and be like, all right, I had 8 inquiries. I only booked 3. What am I doing wrong? Why are these people not booking with me? And you can see on the other page I start asking myself questions and I work out what my potential sales could have been. It's like if I had booked all those sessions at my minimum packages, I could have made $7,800, but I didn't. I made $3,300. When I see things in black and white like that, and it's like, okay, I had the potential to book nearly $8,000, but I only booked $3,000. That kicks me in the butt. And I'm like, why am I not doing this? Where is my business failing? Where am I failing? Where was I successful? And by just recording this type of thing, I can see it. It's like, did I spend too much? Not really. I only spent $200 on some printing and things like that, not a whole lot. So you can then start analyzing where you need to go with your business and give yourself a to-do list for the next week. I'll do things like, where did my referrals come from? Well, one came from a word of mouth, a referral from another client. Well, I'm going to send that person an email, say, thank you very much. I'm going to send them a little gift. I'm going to send them a gift card to say, thank you very much. And I'm going to Facebook it and be like, hey, Jan, thanks very much for the referral. Check your mail in a couple of days. You got a gift coming your way. People think that's great. So what are those people now going to do? All the people on Facebook that see it, they're like, oh, well, he sends out gifts. I've used him. Let's refer him. Stupid little things like that. But it gives me a to-do list. I paid $180 for the not listing, but I didn't get any referrals from the not. What's going wrong with the not? Are my pictures not good? Are people not seeing me? Am I wording things wrong? I need to now look at what I'm doing on the not. Anybody who doesn't know, it's a wedding listing website and things like that. I'm not getting referrals from my model reps. Anybody that heard me talk knows how I feel about model reps. But if you have model reps and you're not getting referrals from them, maybe you need to get on the phone to them and start kicking their butts a little bit, or just get them pushing things. These are all things that you don't know that you should or shouldn't be doing unless you're analyzing it. A lot of people are just letting things come and go, and you're just flowing from week to week and not really doing anything to correct any situations. So this is all coming from a profit and loss, just listing a week's worth of incomes and expenses. And from that, I've given myself a to-do list for the following week. The senior booked me from seeing me on Instagram. Fantastic. I'm being noticed on Instagram. Let's get some more of a social media presence going. I'm sorry, Addie, I'm boring you, sweetheart.
Oh, she's out.
See, my wife does that all the time. Talking away, and she's been asleep for like 6 hours. What do I need to drive my business? It's like I need to make $3,750 a week, which I already know to hit my target, and I made $3,300. I now need to up my game. What holidays are coming up? Valentine's Day is coming up. Maybe I need to push a mini session, maybe a boudoir mini session, something like that. But just by seeing the black and white numbers, it drives me to come up with more ideas and start looking at different things. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
And you also start seeing, like I did week 2. Phil's gone to sleep as well. But like week 2, I've had weeks like this, and I booked a bridal show or something like that. And I've spent an absolute fortune on the booth price, flyers, business cards, banners, tables, all of that stuff. And I've not taken any money in because it's just been one of those weeks where I didn't get a booking. I don't really think about it too much until I see it on paper or on the screen, and I'm like, oh, bugger. I got to figure this out. I didn't make any money last week, and I spent $1,700. So I'm meant to be making $3,750, and I'm now in a negative of $1,700. All right, what can I do to make up that money? And on my notes page for that week, it's things like, all right, come up with mini sessions. What do I need to make from the mini sessions? $1,700. That's my target for mini sessions, because I need to make back the money that I spent on marketing for that week. And I want to drive myself to make back that money. I'm not going to sit there and be like, that's okay, it'll come back later. It'll come back from the bridal show. I can't guarantee that. So I need to pull that money back now. So I'm going to set something up to make that money back as fast as I can. And I'm going to do mini sessions. Well, fantastic. I now have a target of how much money I need to make from mini sessions. I need to make $1,700 from mini sessions. Great. What am I going to charge for mini sessions? I don't know, $100. I'm going to do $100 because my math is bad. So if I'm charging $100, I need to make 1,700. I need to do 17 sessions. That's probably 2 days of mini sessions. Great. Anything I do on top of that is bonus. So that's my target. I've now set myself more targets to aim for. I'm now going to watch everything that I do with this mini session. I don't want to spend a whole lot of money because I want to make $1,700. I've got this number, $1,700, fixated in my brain. I'm obsessed with making this money back. Don't want to spend much. And this all comes from writing stuff down and analyzing my business. I will sit and go over these and be like, where can I make money back? Where do I need to make money back? Where am I spending too much money? Is this spend warranted? And these are things you don't realize until you sit and look at them. So all this is just coming from a weekly profit and loss. Now, I'll admit I'm a little anal over these type of things. This is what I do. This is how I run my business. I don't expect you all to be this crazy over it, but just have a knowledge of what you've got coming in and where, and what you've got going out, what you have spent in the last week, and look at where you can start making more money just from this. You now know that the knot hasn't worked for you so far. So next month, you're going to know that you need to look at your knot referrals. Has the changes you've made increased your inquiries? You're now going to analyze it every single week. Now, analyzing it doesn't mean you've got to sit there and like stew over it for hours. It means you're just going to look at it. You're going to be like, okay, let's check the knot, see how I've done. How have my model reps done this week? Okay, but you're going to keep acknowledging. And the more and more you do this, the more it becomes second nature to you in your mind. Then at the end of the month, your monthly one is the important thing. I want to make my 3750, which is my 45 grand divided by 52. Sorry, by 12. I want to hit that target at the end of the month, but I want to make that money ASAP. If I can make my monthly target in week 1, fantastic. In week 2, I now want to make next month's. Week 3, I want to make the following months. I want to be way ahead of the thing because who knows what's going to bring. COVID could come along and screw us all. Pretty sure that happened to a few of us. Then at the end of the month, you come to your monthly profit and loss. All your expenses are written down. Your income from each week is written down, your total. And then at the bottom, I always do like make a list of what I spent. So I have my sales. My sales are anything that didn't include a photo shoot. My services are anything that did include a photo shoot. That's how I divide them. So I know that my photo shoots, I took this amount of money, and sales like prints and stuff like that is different. And then I categorize my expenses. How much did I spend on marketing for the month? How much did I spend on printing, posting, all of that? So just by having this down, that's my taxes done for that month. It's pretty much my taxes because all my receipts are in my folder under January. So they're in there. I don't need to look at them again unless I'm looking for something specific, which I don't ever. But they're already in there. January done. My profit and loss is done. I know how much I made. I know how much I lost. I know how much I spent on marketing, on sales, and things like that. So I don't need to worry about January now. If I do this every single month in this folder and into this or on the screen, however you input it, when it comes to tax season, which is now, I don't have to do anything. Everything's already in place, and it's from 30 minutes a week. So from 30 minutes a week on a Friday morning, I've done all my taxes and given myself a to-do list for every single week. And it's all come from just analyzing a business. Sounds simple, doesn't it? It's all about organization and making yourself do it. And it's not the most fun job to start with. It really isn't. Who wants to go through the receipts and things like that? Boring. But if you can get into a habit of doing it, you start getting a little obsessed with it because it makes your life easier. And there's nothing better than looking at your business and being like, I need to do this. I can drive here. I'm losing money. It makes you feel like a real business person, which us photographers don't tend to be a whole lot. We love the camera. We will sit and analyze a photo for hours. Where's the lighting coming from? Look at a pose on that. How can I make it look like this? This person's amazing. How can I make my images look like this? But when it comes to the business part, we don't look at our business at all. 30 minutes a week. Pick a day. Friday morning as I do mine. It doesn't matter when you do it. Who cares? But just build it into your routine and start looking at your business. So that's kind of what I do in my profit and loss. And as you can see, it sets me up for the following week. It gives me an idea of where I've got to go to market, to help drive my business, where I might have to save money or where I can afford to spend a bit of money. Any questions about this so far? Everybody's still awake. Hey, Addie, you woke up, sweetheart. I'm sorry, I was boring you.
That was very helpful.
So where do you plug in when you purchase, like Addie was talking earlier about a camera, where would she plug that in?
That would go into my weekly expenses. I would have the receipt for it. It would come in from probably B&H. I would print off the receipt for it and I'd put it into my January folder and I would list it on my expenses for that week.
Okay, so if she was, for instance, trying to budget for it to be able to buy it, what would she do?
So if you're trying to budget, you set yourself, I would be like, kind of like I was for my marketing. And I'd be like, right, I need to set myself, I need to make, let's say the camera's $800. In my notes, I'd be like, I want to make $800. Where am I going to make $800? And then it's coming up with ideas to come up with that $800. Anything you want to save for, I really suggest putting money literally to one side. And that's what I will do. I have a savings account just for equipment. And I'm like, all right, fantastic. I did these mini sessions because I want to buy my new lens. And I did this for the 70 to 200 that I wanted to buy. Did I have the money in the bank to buy it? I did. I could have went out and just put it on the credit card and not worried about it. But I'm not that type of person. I'm like, I've got to earn this. So I'm like, right. I did mine with in-person sales. I set myself targets with in-person sales and said, okay, every time I make more than $1,600 on my in-person sales, the excess goes into my savings account towards my lens. And that's how I used to drive myself for that. And that used to drive me for my in-person sales, because I'd get to $1,600 or somewhere around there. And I'm like, well, that's not going to get me my lens. And I'd be selling them extra stuff. And it drives me. Now, if you want to do it the other way, and let's say you go out and you put it on your credit card, which you haven't maybe got the money for, you then have to come up with ideas to make that money back as quick as possible. So it depends on which way you want to do it. Some people are happy to put it on their credit card, and that's not a negative at all. Some people, if you need something, you're going to put it on your credit card because, hey, if your camera's broke or something like that, you can't shoot, you can't make money. So yeah, you stick it on your credit card, but then you've got to drive yourself to make that money back. Come up with some ideas, write your ideas down. Your camera's $2,500 or something like that. That's giving you a target. Okay, I need to make $2,500. Let's come up with a way of doing it. What do I do well? Some people it's mini sessions, some people it's sales. I don't know what it is. That's up to you to figure out how you can best make it back, but drive to it. But Addy, so the way you should do it is make some money borrowing a camera off of mom, and every time you make some money, get the cash and put it in an envelope somewhere where mum doesn't know where it is. And just keep adding to it and adding to it. Because when you buy that first camera, no matter how much it was or what camera it was, you're going to feel like you earned that camera and you're going to adore that camera and love it. And when it comes to your next camera or your lens or whatever, keep doing the same thing. And you'll get everything you want and you'd have worked your butt off for it. But you'd have bought photography equipment, doing photography. So you can do it. I know you can. I'm going to check in with you, Addy, in a couple of weeks. I want to know how much money you've got towards your camera. But yeah, that's how I would do it. And I do analyze like everything when it comes to that sort of thing. Because everything I spend, it kind of hurts me a little bit. I hate spending money. I really do. I just need to have a plan. It's always about having a plan with me. So do what you need to do, but think about where the money's going to come from or how you're going to get it back.
Damion,
Yes.
how important would you consider studio management software to be running your business?
Oh, wow. Okay. I will say that at the beginning of my business, you definitely don't need it at the beginning, in my opinion. But the earlier you can get it, the more organized your business. I know it's you know what it's like if you've got a successful, crazy busy business and then you try to introduce a new system, it's a nightmare. Because you've now got to put 40 clients into the system and move all of this. And some people are on this system and some people are on that system. Some people are on papers. It's time consuming and it starts putting you off a little bit. So the earlier you can get into it, the better. As your business increases, you will start needing the management systems, I believe. I don't know. I could not run my business now without 17 hats. And that's not me just promoting them because I'm an ambassador for them. I'm an ambassador for them because I can't run my business without them. My bookings come through them. My profit and loss comes through them. Every invoice through a client comes through my client management system. It makes life easy for me. Mm-hmm. And you can get them for as little as, okay, this is going to sound bad, as little as $30 a month. I know $30 sounds like a lot of money, but when I analyzed my business before I moved over to a management system, I used to spend about $25 a month on paper, ink, stamps, envelopes, and all this stuff that I needed to send out contracts and invoices to my clients. I don't have any of that expense anymore now. The difference is I didn't notice $5 going out for envelopes. I didn't notice $5 going out for paper. I definitely noticed ink going out. It was a ridiculous amount of money. It's like petrol and gas and everything. It's disgusting pricing, but whatever. But when you work out all these prices, $30 a month is not a lot of money. I spend more than that on Starbucks. Yes, Starbucks keeps me awake. I enjoy it. But my client management system runs my business. It's
I just asked because I've been on Studio Plus since 2012.
yeah.
And before that, I was on another system that eventually sold out to Studio Plus. And I can't even imagine not having it.
Right.
I would recommend it. I paid like $1,500 for mine, but you don't have to do that anymore because you can, they have a subscriptions.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I don't know how I'd run my business without it. There's simple things like invoicing. It's just such a weight off my shoulders. I mean, I take bookings. In fact, I just looked at my phone and I've just booked a headshot session for Thursday at 5:30. I'm sitting here talking to you guys, and I've just booked a headshot session for $250 because I have a client management system. It's linked to my website. People go on my website, click it, pick a date, and book it. So it's little things like that, and they've already had their contract and their invoice. They've just paid their deposit. Oh, phone went again. That's their deposit coming through.
Yeah, I use 17 hats and I just love hearing those dings from it.
Yeah.
So easy.
So anybody that if you can get into a client management system which has your bookkeeping and your profit and loss and things like that, make it a priority in your business. Honestly, maybe you need to cancel that subscription to Peter Hurley for a year, $25 a month, or Sue Bryce or something like that. They're all going to hate me for this because yes, we all subscribe to them, but at some point you need to put your business over your lighting. You can learn lighting from a lot of good photographers that you don't need to do that. Find the $30, find the $45, whatever it costs. I mean, they're different prices. I pay $29 because I'm a founding member of 17 Hats. I don't know what Ashlyn pays, probably $30, $45, something like that, the same.
I don't know. I've been having it probably almost since it came out. So
Right. So you're probably in the founding members pricing as well.
it's possible.
Yeah. But guys, there's so many of them. I'm not saying you have to go to 17 Hats. Iris Works do a great one. My wife uses Iris Works. I can't get her over to 17 Hats. Even though I make money, if I get her over to 17 Hats, she won't come over. She likes Iris Works. It works for her. There's lots. Dubsado is another one. I mean, Studio Ninja, I think, is one. There's so many of them out there. Just find one that works for you guys if you want to go to it. But don't feel like you have to. This can work. Pixify, is that one, Joel? Is that what you use?
It's what I used to use.
Okay.
Yeah, it was developed by a software developer who was also a wedding photographer on the side. So it started out geared to wedding photography, but it's, you've really built it out over the years.
Okay.
I actually use Studio Cloud. I pay $10 a month just to be able to use forms. Other than that, it's up to 300 contacts for free. If you do any of their add-ons, it gives you unlimited everything, and then there's more stuff that you can add on. So
okay,
it's a little clunky, but it works, and I could do automated emails. So
yeah,
and do electronic contracts. So.
Right. So yeah, I mean, just anybody that doesn't use a client management system, what it does is it takes care of all of anything you do with a client, basically. So you'll get, you can send them invoices online and they sign it online. So you don't have to put it in the mail or anything like that. It comes straight back to them and it's instant. You do your invoicing online. You send them the invoice online. They pay for it online and it comes back to you straight into your bank account or through PayPal or Square or Stripe, whoever you use and things like
But
that.
then you saying that, like, if somebody found my website, which I don't have yet, because I'm just sorting out, if somebody like goes to your website and make the deposit to do a session, that goes into services or the other one, I can't remember the name of it.
So I always do two categories. Yeah, sales or services. That's basically my incomes.
Mm-hmm.
There are other incomes that I will get. It's like if I sell a camera, or a lens or anything like that, I put that into my income because it's money into my business, and that goes down as merchandise or whatever. But anything I'm doing a service with goes into service. That lets me keep track of how much money I'm making from shoots.
So that includes deposits too?
Deposits and everything, yeah. I don't really separate them. I count them all as one. That's the way I simplify it, just because I keep it all into one. So yeah, deposits or balances and things like that. It just comes under services. So I know how much money is coming from shoots. Anything that doesn't include a shoot goes in as sales.
So that say sales, that's like selling prints and all that.
Yeah, prints, and pretty much anything else. Yeah, it comes under sales. I don't know whether you're all aware with sales tax and everything these days, but we have to pay sales tax on photo shoots. Yes, we do. It's changed. So anybody that's saying no, anything that you do that can be turned into a tangible product now has to be paid sales tax on, which includes photo shoots. So many photographers out there are like, oh, I don't have to pay sales tax on it. It's a mini session. It's like, well, if you're producing an image that can be turned into a print, which you are, you have to pay sales tax on it, unfortunately. It never used to be like that, Joel.
Yeah, well, it's anything that in the process of creating the tangible. So if,
Yeah.
I think I always explain it that, okay, if I come and do the shoot for you and never deliver you anything, you never get a file from me. I just come in and take the picture, then walk away. I don't have to charge your sales tax. As soon as you get anything back from me from that shoot, then all of a sudden that session becomes taxable.
Right. And we all deliver an image. Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately you have to pay sales tax on it. They changed that, and yeah, it's just a pain in the butt. Just pay sales tax and everything. You're not even doing it. You're charging them for it. So it's the client. It's not even your money. You say to your clients, give me the sales tax. They send it to you. It goes into a separate account, and then you pay it each month, quarterly, whatever. So don't even count sales tax in anything, because it's not your money. Government's money. They'll deport me if I get caught doing that. So I end up back in England. All right. So that's kind of profit and loss. How are we for time? Well, that ain't bad. Sorry, being nosy at who's booked me. It's pageant headshot, just to let you know. Right. So any questions, profit and loss? No, we're good. Everybody's still awake? You need coffee? Anybody need to go get a coffee, pee, anything like that? No, we're good. All right.
I'm here.
Cheryl, you need coffee?
No, I want to sleep tonight. No coffee. I'm
No.
awake.
Okay. Mr. Tom, you look very relaxed. All right. So where else should we be analyzing our business? Pricing. I get, Cheryl, do you have a question?
I'm good.
Okay, you're deep breathing. You okay?
Sorry.
That's all right. I'm not complaining that you're breathing. It was flashing up that you were making noise. I wanted to make sure you didn't have a question. Okay, so pricing is one of the other huge places that you can be and should be analyzing your business. How do you come up with your session prices? Photo shoot prices. Not everybody, a lot of people pick a number out the air. They're like, $150. It's like the Price is Right with people trying to pick prices for photo shoots. You have to start breaking it down. And I'm not criticizing anybody on their prices, each person's price is down to you, not anybody else. But you have to start analyzing it to see whether you're happy doing that price. And you may be, when you're looking at it and being like, oh, $150 for a photo shoot. Great. I charge $150 for a business headshot. I put 30 minutes of work into it. That's it. How much work are you putting into it? Start breaking down and analyzing what you're offering and how much you're charging. So I'm going to write stuff down because, like I say, my math's pretty bad. But so let's say you charge $150 for a senior photo shoot. Okay, sounds good. What are you offering this? Now, I do, and can't even remember. Oh, my brain has gone to absolute dog poo. It's absolutely, I do a mentoring session, and I do mentoring for a few different photographers. They come and see me weekly for a couple of months, and we talk about their business and shooting and things like that. And I had one guy come to me about a month ago, and he's like, oh yeah, my senior sessions are $150. I book lots of them. It's like fantastic. He books probably one a day he was booking. But we broke it down. So for $150, he was doing a 2-hour session. All right. Well, we're now down to $75 an hour. He was doing about 8 hours of editing to give them 30 to 40 images, $150. He was looking at it as in he's making $150 for 2 hours work. No, you're not. You're making $150 for 10 hours work. You're making $15 an hour. Actually, you're not, because you've got to pay income tax on that. So let's take out your income tax. You're down to 120, we'll say, just to do a 20% income tax. So you're now down to 120 for 10 hours work. Take out your gas at the moment, that's probably another $400, but without joking, but you spent a bit of gas in there, maybe a couple of bucks there. Any other little bits and pieces, maybe you ate or something like that, I don't know. But let's say you did $120 after your income tax on that. You're now down to $12 an hour. You're shooting one a day. You're making $24 a day. To me, that math doesn't work out particularly well over 5 days. What's that? I mean, $100 bucks. That's what you're making for 50 hours work. Oh, I wanted to cry. And not only that, he's then just given these people 30 to 40 digital images. And I sat there and it was like, okay, be professional. Let's say you give them 30 images and you're still making $120 and you've done no hours. What is your work worth? You're selling these images for $3 a piece. So all in, you're working 50 hours a week for $100, giving away hundreds and hundreds of images at $3 a piece. And he hadn't looked at it like that at all because he hadn't analyzed it. Now, I can't criticize him for it because nobody had pointed it out to him. But look at what you're doing. How many hours are you working? I charge $150 for a business headshot session. They get 2 images. I do 30 minutes of work. I don't talk to them beforehand. It's all online booking. I don't do any editing. It's all done separately. I pay $5 to edit their 2 images that they get included. So I literally put about 35 to 40 minutes into each session, $150. That's not bad coming back. I shoot 6 or 7 of them a day. Yes, that's how I do this. And because I've analyzed it and worked out how much time I spend on it, I know how many I need to make, how many I need to shoot in a day to make the money I want to make. Does that make sense? I've broken everything down. So I'm like, okay, I need to make this much a day. So I need to make this much on each shoot because I can fit 8 shoots in a day. And that's how I get to my pricing. My pricing wasn't based on what I'm giving them. It's based on how much I need to make and how many shoots I can do. My senior sessions, I do one a day because I want to give them my full attention. I don't do anything else in a day, just one senior session. My cheapest senior session is $350. And what does it include? Squat. Absolutely diddly poop. They don't get anything. They don't get any digitals. They don't get any prints because I need to make that $350 in the day. So that money's mine, except for my income tax, which is built into it. Then they order anything over the top of that. So many photographers out there, they'll look at it and be like, $350. Oh, they're going to feel like they're not getting enough. I'm going to give them 100 images. How long is it going to take you to edit those 100 images? Exactly. You now got to take that into consideration. It's no longer a 2-hour, 3-hour shoot. It's now 3-hour shoot plus 7 hours editing. You're now at 10 hours. It's now a full day. Start working out your hours and analyzing it. For my business headshots, I offered 3 backdrops: white, gray, and black. $150. They get 2 images included. I was happy at that price. I started looking at it a couple of weeks back and thinking, nobody is choosing the black for their free images or the images that are included. It takes me a few minutes to change the backdrop, and I have to change my lighting as well when I go from gray to black because I need to separate them from the background. So I've got to change my backdrop, which a couple of minutes, change my lighting, a couple more minutes, but nobody's doing it. So yeah, I'm happy at $150, 3 backdrops. I do it every day. I know it like the back of my hand. I probably do it with my eyes closed, but I'm still analyzing every little thing. And I'm like, I'm dropping black because nobody wants it. And I'm like, actually, a few people did have it. Not many, but a few. Great. I'm going to do it as an add-on. I'm going to do white and gray. If somebody comes to me and says, oh, I really want black, perfect. I'll do white and black or gray and black. I'll give them 2 backdrops. And if they want a third, they can either book my next package up or book a 3rd backdrop as an add-on for $50. Now, have I made any more money from this? No. I'm still at $150, but I've reduced my workload. I now don't even present them with as many images because I'm now doing 2 backdrops instead of 3. Has anything about it changed? Nothing. I'm not making anything less. They're still picking their 2 free ones, and most people buy 2 extra. That's my average for a headshot session. 2 extra headshots at $35 each, so an extra 70 on top. That hasn't changed. Nothing has changed. But because I sat and analyzed it and looked back over all my sessions over the past 6 months, I went, these people didn't do black, he didn't do black, they didn't do black, this one did. Out of all of them, I think like 3 people in 6 months wanted the black backdrop. It just isn't something that people are going to as a general rule. So I took it out. It's just reduced my workload. I don't have to move my lighting or anything like that. It means I don't take 2 extra modifiers. And now if somebody does want black, I get to charge them more for it. Business people don't really care a whole lot because they're usually writing it off or charging it to their business. So they don't care too much if it's an extra $50. I'm always looking at ways I can either reduce my workload or increase my profit. And now my sessions get done like 10 minutes quicker. So I can fit an extra session in a day if I need to. Or I can sit on my butt for 10 minutes at the end of the session. I can talk with somebody for an extra 10 minutes. And it's just because I sit analyzing it. And so many photographers and business people will be like, I'm happy here. And they'll sit there. And I'm like, yeah, I'm happy here, but how can I do this better? My pricing comes from knowing how much I need to make in a day. My pricing comes from knowing how much I need to make in a day, so I know how much I need to make in a month and a year. I'm a full-time photographer. My wife is a full-time photographer. We have 2 kids. At some point, these little buggers all want to go to college and have cars, and we go on vacations and things like that. We know that we need to make an income. We just bought a new house. So we need to make this money. How much do we need to make from photography? How many hours do we have in a day? How many shoots can I do? How much do I need to make from each shoot? That's my pricing. Not what is Joel charging for a headshot session. I don't care what Joel is charging for a headshot session. Joel, Phil, you're all great headshot photographers, but I don't care what you're charging because that's your business. You have your own incomes. Every person has their own incomes that they need to make. That's how I come up with my pricing, but I can only do it by analyzing what people are getting and how much money you make and things like that. Sit and look at what people are getting.
I mean,
Honestly,
can
yeah,
I ask you something? You just were saying that since I've been doing shelter photography for 2015, middle 2015.
Yeah.
So I don't even know where to start. So would it be a good idea to look online to see what other photographers, United States and states around me charge, and then go from there and then analyze that?
but at least set yourself a target for the year.
Okay.
And your target can be anything. It doesn't have to be how much you need to live on. Lee, maybe you want a new camera, mate. Maybe there's a lens that you've been dreaming about. Maybe backdrops. I don't care. I mean, what's your equipment list? Everybody's got an equipment list. I mean, you go on my B&H list, thousands of dollars in the like wish list thing. I don't know what it is, but set yourself a target to make, and then break it down from there. Be like, okay, so this year I want to make $6,000 because I want the new Nikon Z9. I don't know. I'm just using it as an example. Break it into 12. You've now got your target. So breaking into 12 is $500. You need to make $500 a month. How many shoots can you realistically do in that month? Let's say you can do 2 a week. Just as an example. 2 a week is good for a photographer, I think. We don't work every day most of the time. Most photographers don't work every day. 1 session. I know photographers that are doing 1 session a week. 2, 3. I don't know. It's whatever you think you can do, but maybe you set yourself a realistic target of doing 2 shoots a week. You need to make $500 in the month. So you've got to shoot 8 sessions. Your 500 divided by 8, $500 divided by your 8 sessions. Somebody do that math for me, please. I know, $70. Joel got a calculator. Love Joel. $62.50. Thank you, Phil. All right, Lee. So now we have a number. So you need to make $62.50 from photo shoots. You need to do 2 a week to hit your 6,000 for the year. You have targets now. $62, that's a bargain. We don't really want to go out at $62. Maybe you round it up. $75. Going to make yourself a nice profit there, Lee. You're going to be able to afford a lens as well. But you've now got a target. All right, we've just worked out pricing for you in 2 minutes. And that sounds like a good target to me. I don't know about you. 6 grand for the year. I don't know. Maybe you want to make more. Maybe you want 2 cameras. Maybe you want to go 12 grand. I don't know, Lee.
But I would love 2 cameras, but not right now.
Right. But you can see how I've broken it down.
Mm-hmm.
Set yourself the target for the year. And that also then gives you something to analyze each month. And you're like, all right, well, this week I only did one session. Why? How do I get extra sessions? Am I not approaching the right people? I know you love pet photography. We've talked about this. So you have a bad week and you book one session in the week and you're meant to be booking 2. The next week you do another 1. Oh, you're now down 2. Your to-do list for next week is to contact 3 vets and talk to them and say, can I come into the studio and offer some services? You contact a pet groomer. You contact a few different people that are in the pet industry and you ask to promote through their website page, and you'll do a free shoot for them. In return, they promote your business. It's giving you a to-do list to hit your 2 a week, and you're only charging $75. You're a bargain and a great photographer and enthusiastic. And can you see, from wanting a camera, we've now set you a target for the year, set you a target for the month, set your pricing, and given you a to-do list for next week. All from you saying, I want the Nikon Z9. And it's just because we broke it down and analyzed it. Now, I know it sounds really simple, and it's not always going to go to plan. But at least when it doesn't go to plan, you can come up with an action plan to try and get there. Whereas you get so many people that are like, I don't know where to start my pricing. This person's doing this. Joel's charging $200. Joel's better than me. What am I going to do? Phil's doing this, and Joey's doing this. Joey winning awards left and right. Oh my God, he can charge more than me. What do I charge? Oh my God, my head's going to explode. I don't care what anybody else is doing. I need to make this amount of money, and this is what I need to do to make this amount of money, and I'll break it down. And that's how I get there. It drives me when I have a bad week, and I'm telling you, I have weeks where I don't book anything, and I'm sat there thinking, oops, what's going to go on? And I start analyzing stuff. All right, I got 3 inquiries and none of them booked. Why? What am I doing wrong? Are these people not seeing the images on my website? Let's check my website's working. How many people have checked their website's working? Most people don't check that every day. You don't know it's not working. Are people getting through my booking? Is somebody else doing a special? I don't know what's going on. I have to start analyzing it and start asking myself questions. And it's those questions that I ask myself. I treat myself like my manager. My manager is an a-hole. He's me. Now, I worked for a manager for years and years and years. And every day it would be like, your department is down. How are you going to solve this problem? What are you going to do to improve it? How are you going to get more customers through the door? Who are you going to preach? What marketing do you want to do? Well, I now am asking myself these questions, and I write these questions down. How am I going to improve my sales this week? And I'll give myself a list of things that I could do. And that's my list for the next week. This is what I need to do. These are the people I need to contact. When I was doing weddings, wow, you would not believe the amount of work I used to give myself each week. All right, I'm not getting inquiries. Why am I not getting inquiries? All right, let's go and make sure my not listing looks fantastic. Yep, not listing done. Put new pictures up, freshened it up. My website, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to freshen all that up, change some words, maybe work on getting my SEO up somehow. All right, how else can I do this? You know what? I'm going to go out and speak to some event coordinators. So I'm going to go to the Berry Barn and I'm going to take them out to lunch. The coordinator for the Berry Barn or some other venues, I'm going to take them out to lunch, buy them a coffee, have a chat with them. And I'm going to kiss their butts and get on the preferred vendor list. Hey, this coordinator at so-and-so was fantastic. I really liked her. I'm going to send her flowers and say, it was a pleasure working with you at the last wedding. Can't wait to work with you again. Thank you for your help. She was a pain in the ass. She didn't give me any time between the ceremony and reception, but I'm going to go kiss her butt and send her flowers and tell her how freaking great she was. Do I enjoy it? No. But she's just received flowers from me. She thinks I'm fantastic. I'm now on her preferred vendor list. And she's going to, through all her people that have got engaged, because it's now Valentine's Day and 40,000 people got engaged, they're all going to go and call her at the Berry Barn, because everybody wants to get married in a barn in Louisiana. And they're going to be like, who's your preferred vendor list? And my name's going to be the top of that because I sent her flowers. So now I go to my website and I find all my pictures for the Berry Barn and I put them at the front. So all these people that have gone to the Berry Barn to speak to her now come to my website and they're like, wow, look at these pictures. And he shoots at the Berry Barn a lot. He must be great. No, I sent her flowers. And from that, I've got leads, and these leads are going to my website. And because I analyzed each little step, I'm now increasing business. A lot of people will go to see her and get put on a priority list or preferred vendor list, and then they'll do nothing with it. I'm thinking, what are these people going to do when they get their preferred vendor list? They're going to go to my website. So my website now needs to represent what I'm trying to sell them, which is a wedding at the Berry Barn. And it doesn't need to be the Berry Barn, it's a barn. So I can pick one of the other 40 places around that look barnish. And then I'll take the next step and just on and on and on. I'll then go and talk to the next coordinator down at Elegant Affairs or wherever and do the same with them. Kiss their butt, take them out for a coffee, lunch. Hey, just want to talk about your business. It was great working with you. Can I do anything for you? And this is all coming because I'm like, I didn't make any money this week. What have I got to do to make more bookings? I do it in my headshot business all the time. If I don't get business headshots coming in, I'll send out flyers. I'll start going around to businesses. I'll be like, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I do business headshots. Here's my magazine. If you need anything, give me a shout. It's a to-do list, but it's coming from analyzing stuff and being proactive with it. This is how important analyzing your business is, because it gives you your to-do list. It gives you targets and it keeps you on your toes. Sets your pricing. Sounds simple. Running a business is simple. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm stupid. I'm not the brightest person in the world. You can all do this. You just need to start analyzing it. And at the beginning, it becomes a chore. But the more you do it, the more you get obsessed with it. And you start reacting to things. And I analyze my business constantly now. I think it drives Cheryl and my wife mad. Because I'm like, yeah, I've been looking at my business and you can see her shoulders slump. She's like, again, really? I mean, I've been discussing 2 things with her today alone about things I want to change. And it's like, these things are successful. I'm doing them well. And am I doing them perfectly? No. Let's figure out how. Break it all down. Any questions? Because I'm talking now. Everyone is, Addie's asleep again, bless her.
Damion, for your headshot business.
Yeah.
What do you have like a signature lighting style, or what do you do that sets you apart from everybody else?
I do a few different things that set me apart, and we're getting into my stand out in the crowd conversation. We had Climb Peter now, but my business headshots, I do a different lighting setup to most people. I do a Peter Hurley style setup with a 3 light triangular lighting system.
Yes.
So a lot of people like that in there. Gives really pretty catch lights, very similar to kind of a ring light.
You do that for women and men?
Yes, I do. I will I will change the power of the lights and things like that. It's like the guys, I don't uplight them quite as much because we want the shadows a little harsher. And one of the lights to the side, I'll take out a little bit of power and things like that. But most of the time, you're looking at the 3 light catch light for business headshots. The other thing that I really promote, somebody sending me chats. Okay. Yeah, the other thing I really promote is like I said, I'm very analytic about things, and my business headshots are set up so that it doesn't matter where I'm shooting or how I'm shooting, they all look the same. My backdrops and models and lights and tripod are set exactly the same for every single shoot. Sounds boring, and it can be a little boring, but honestly, to the inch, I actually get a tape measure out when I go to, if I go to do a corporate sessions, I will get out a tape measure and make sure my background is exactly the same distance from everything. My settings on my camera do not change. My light powers as a general do not change. I do change my light powers, but they're the same for every man. They're the same for every female. So, and I really promote that with the businesses, because I'll get a lot of businesses that will book me for 20, 30 people, and I go to their office, but then they get new recruits. And I don't want to go out to the same location to shoot 2 people. That's a waste of my time. In fact, I don't do it for anything less than 8 people. But they can come to my studio and get exactly the same shot. And because my powers are the same, my backdrops are the same distance apart, the model stood in the same place, my camera settings are the same, the image looks identical. So this gray image that no other photographer can match is mine, because I don't give my settings to everybody else. My settings are my settings. So that company that's paid me $5,000 to shoot 30 people are always going to come back to me now, because they need to match that gray. And I'm the only person that can match that gray. And I promote that. So it's finding your signature look and sticking to it, finding your style and sticking to it. Consistency with headshots, business headshots, is the key. And you just need to really stick with it. If you're going to do little changes, that's fine. You can change your style, but make sure you make notes on what you did for this company or that company so that you can refer back to them. Now, business headshots, I'll be honest with you, are boring. They're kind of dull. It's very much like next, but it's a good payday. So I call it bread and butter. It's yeah, I just got a thumbs up from Joel. So and photography a lot of the time is about finding that bread and butter money, because it's really difficult to find like a 9 to 5 income in photography. We've got a couple of shoots this week and no shoots that week, and then one week we'll have 10 shoots and then we'll have nothing for 2 weeks. It's crazy. But if you can find that bread and butter, it really does help your business. But you find that by analyzing things. Like, what are you doing a lot of? What are you really good at? What can you do quick and consistently? And then I have my pageant. My business at the moment is built around pageants. It seems weird. I'm a 43-year-old guy who photographs pageants 80% of the time. But it's where my business is, and I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty good at it. The girls love the work I do, and I'm winning awards for it, and the girls are winning prizes for it. I mean, we just had Miss Louisiana USA. Doesn't mean a lot to any of you, I'm sure, but it's a big state pageant competition, one of the biggest in Louisiana. 26 contestants, and I shot 12 of them. I did their headshots for 12. This image I won or she won for that image, most photogenic. It's one of the awards they give out to pageant girls. From that, she won that last night. It's 8 o'clock. The award went out to her. Hey, the winner of most photogenic is Taja White. I was ecstatic. I was sat on the couch watching a pageant live on TV on a Sunday night. I'm not gay, I promise you. Nothing wrong with that, but people assume I am because I shoot pageants. Hey, I've got a hot wife. She doesn't look like a man. But this is what I was doing. And because I was watching that pageant, yeah, I'm invested in some of the girls, but I needed to win most photogenic because I beat out 4 of the top photographers in the country. And what was the first thing I did? I went on social media, showed the image off, sent it on my website, went onto this website and that website and posted it everywhere. Congratulations, Taja White, on winning most photogenic. I loved working with you. Do you know how many headshot photo sessions I've booked with pageant girls today? 8. I sat there and I'm like, right, she's won that. And I was instantly on that. I was, okay, I need to do this website and that website. Go onto my website right now. Guess whose picture's the first one you see? Hers. I changed that like minutes after she won. Because people go to my website and they see her picture. And now they're like, oh, we want to win most photogenic. We're going to book him. Mini sessions, headshot sessions for pageants. I charge $250 for 45 minutes. I just booked 8. And it's just analyzing your business and being like, okay, I've got to react to this. I don't like watching pageants. I really don't. They don't excite me at all. I find them a little pretentious. I know this is being recorded, so let's not put this out anywhere, please. Joel, yeah. I've just screwed my business completely. All right. But I enjoy the photo shoots with the pageant girls. I really do enjoy it. They're all pretty girls. Actually, most of them are really, really smart. They all come professional hair and makeup, usually a makeup artist in tow, which makes life easier. And they've all got money to spend. They spend thousands of dollars on dresses. I used to charge $150 for a pageant headshot, same as my business ones. And I sat there looking at it and thinking, you know what? I do more work for this, but they've got more money to spend. I started analyzing them. I was like, well, she spent $350 on that hair and makeup artist. They spent $2,000 on that dress. She spent $45 on nails. They've got money to spend. I started analyzing them and like, they have money to spend and they're willing to spend it. My prices went up $100 like that. Done. $250. Do I book anything less? No, nothing at all. In fact, I think I book more now. I think they used to look at me and be like, oh, he's a bit cheap. That's weird. Let's start questioning him. Now I'm in line with everything. And they're like, yeah, $250 mini session, 45 minutes. Do I do my own editing? No. I send my editing away. Do I talk to them before the shoot? No. They book it online. They go to my website, pick a date, pick a time, pick the shoot, click it, pay the deposit, get the contract, comes through on my phone while I'm talking to you guys. Analyzed it. A lot of you, how many of you do business headshots? Joel, Phil, yeah. So a lot of you do. But so many of you waste time talking to them beforehand. Now, I'm not saying it's a waste, it's whatever works for you. But I started talking to my business people and realized they don't have the time to send emails and wait for emails and ask for shoot dates and times and all of that. And a lot of these people I found were looking to book something quick, easy, and were online at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Silly o'clock at night, not at 5:30, not at 8 in the morning. They needed to book something quick when they thought about it before they go to bed. And that's why I did online booking. I started analyzing them again, analyzing my business. Where am I failing these people? I'm getting a lot of inquiries. I'm getting back to them quick, but they're going to somebody else. Well, that's because they're just booking with whoever makes it quicker and easier for them. As soon as somebody comes back with a date and time that works for them, they're like, yeah, book it. Because not many of these people are analyzing what the headshots look like. They're like, yeah, they do good, clean, crisp headshots. Love the work. Great. That's what I'm looking for. Who gets back to me quickest? Who offers me a date and time that works for me quickest? They get the booking, in my opinion. And this is what I was finding, because I was talking to them and analyzing what they were telling me. Okay, how do I make it quicker? How can I be quicker than all the others? They don't even have to talk to me. They go online, they pick their date, they pick their time, and they book it. They hit a button that says book it, and they get sent an invoice off to them. They pay it on their credit card. Booked. Done. Does it matter what time they book it? No, my website's open 24/7. They can book it anytime they want. I don't care. I love waking up to money and bookings. And most of them, I go to bed late. It's like probably 1, 2 is normally the time I get to go to bed. We've got 2 little kids. We start work at 8 normally. When they've gone to bed, we start work. And I will wake up to bookings. So I know they're booking after 1 a.m., after 2 a.m., and before 6 or 7. And how did I learn all of this? By sitting and analyzing it. I look at my Google Analytics. What time are people on my website? Which pages are they looking at? My Google Analytics will tell you what page people are looking at and what time and things like that. So I look at it and I look at those figures. People don't. People will look at how many people visited my site. I don't care how many people they were. I want to know what time they were on there and what they were looking at. So I'm just reading who's sending me questions. Laurie, yeah, I do write down all the details from the headshots. It goes onto there. Laurie asked if I write down the details from the headshots. And in their client management system, there's a notes section, and I will write down what I used, my settings and things like that. But of course, in your metadata and stuff like that, you have information about what your camera settings were. But I usually write down what color backdrop papers I use with pageants, because I use different color papers, which modifiers I used, because I mix up my modifiers and things like that. So, but yeah, I normally write it all down just so I know. So yeah, start analyzing everything. Google Analytics, what time are people on your website? Which pages are they looking at? So then you get an idea of what type of people are looking. I know my seniors, they used to be looking around 2 o'clock. Senior mums, 2 p.m. every day was the busy time that they were looking at senior pictures. I got a feeling that was the time that people had had enough at work. They'd had lunch. They started counting down the minutes to the end of the day. The phones were coming out a little bit more. They were getting online a little bit more. They'd maybe finished their work for the day. I don't know what it was, but I noticed that my senior pictures were getting a lot of attention around 2 o'clock. So guess what time I started doing Facebook posts for seniors? 2 o'clock, 2, 3, 4 o'clock. I'd start posting senior pictures. My wife does the same. Her newborn pictures, she knows around 9 o'clock on a Sunday, she gets a lot of activity for some strange reason. I don't know what finishes on TV at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night, but she gets a lot of activity. She'll post. She gets bookings from it. She's analyzing what people are doing. Pay attention to all of this stuff. Honestly, it works no end for your business. And it's little, yes, it's a chore at the beginning. And you're like, oh, okay, I've got to check this and that. You'd have to do it all at once. Start by just analyzing the profit and loss. Give yourself that weekly to-do list. Once you've got used to doing that after a couple of months, be like, all right, I want to start now looking at my pricing and my packaging and my packages. Let's break this down. Am I getting the best out of my packages? Let's figure out how much do I need to make this year? Which packages am I selling? What am I not selling? Do you need all your packages? I used to have like 6 or 7 senior packages. It was ridiculous. It's like a McDonald's menu. I had that much stuff going on. And I'm like, well, I haven't booked one of these this year, and I am not booking one of these, and people aren't interested in this. Gone, gone, gone. I've simplified it. Just by looking at it and being like, okay, let's go back through the year. Sounds boring. It's not exciting. But what have I booked? This, and this. I mean, you look at the McDonald's, let's use them as an example. Anybody that knows McDonald's, they started off as a hot dog stand. Then they developed it and they were selling 1,000 things. And when they analyzed their business, they realized that 90% of their business was coming from burgers, French fries, and soft drinks. McDonald's was born. It's gone to crap lately. It's an awful thing. Don't go there. It's awful stuff. But I mean, you can't criticize their business model. And they analyze their business. Everybody analyzes their business in some way. We all need to be doing it as well. Not to that extent. I'm losing people now. Phil's still here. Somebody was like, all right, I love McDonald's. I'm not listening to this guy anymore. So, but yeah, just start analyzing, guys. Keep it simple. Start small, add a new thing, figure out what works for you. But can you all see how important analyzing your business is?
Yeah.
How many people actually do analyze their business? Show of hands.
Like,
All right. So, John, what do you analyze? What's your kind of go-to? What do you find more important?
And one of the things that student extras that I went back the last 3 years, I pulled a report and see what are my highest sales and what was the commonality. And on my family sessions, what it was grandmothers. Sessions
Right.
were booked by or included grandmothers. And so that was, I know that that's something that's one of the clients, that's something I target for, because that's where I make the most money. It's extended families. Grandma's always begging kids for pictures. And if I get the kids, often I'll have 2 or 3 different families. So I'm not just making one sale, I'm selling those individual families, because also, and then grandma and grandpa want to get something too. And
Yeah.
So that was a real easy one to take a look at,
Right. Yeah, I mean, like you say, it's a simple thing to look at, but it's something you probably wouldn't have picked up on unless you made the effort to go back and just look at where you're making the sales. So Joey asks, do I set an annual budget for marketing? And okay, so in the first year of starting to analyze stuff, I didn't really have budgets for things. My budgets on my expenses, like buying equipment and marketing and things like that, usually come from what I spent the year before. I don't want to spend any more than the year before, ideally. So normally, if I've spent $3,000 on marketing in 2021, my target is to do $3,000 this year. I don't always aim to look at it too much, but it does give me a number to keep in my head. And if I want to spend a big chunk extra on something, I'm like, okay, how is this going to benefit my business? So marketing wise, one of the big things I did with marketing once when I was doing weddings was I did sign up for the Knot, which is the online listing that a lot of people go to. And it was something like $180 a month. And they sold it very, very well. They were like, well, it's this much a year, but you only need to book one wedding and you get your money back. And it's like, oh, yeah, okay, makes sense. Until you sit and think about it. And it's like, yeah, and I have to work that wedding for free. I don't like weddings enough to work them for free. Wasn't even excited to be at my wedding. I don't want to go to yours and shoot it for free. I was sick at my wedding, by the way. It's not that I didn't want to get married. But I did it. And it was like, you know what? A lot of people are getting business from it and things like that. But when I sat and analyzed it, the people I was getting a lot of inquiries, but I weren't booking many. And it was all people that were looking for cheap weddings through the knot. They were looking for budgets around $1,500. Now, I'm not saying that's cheap, but they were cheaper than me. My packages at that time started at $2,100. Most of the knot people were looking at $1,000, $1,500. So I wasn't booking a whole lot with them. So I was maybe booking 2 or 3 weddings a year out of them. And the knot argued when I called them to cancel, well, you made your money back on it. And it's like, well, no, not really, because the amount of time I had to put into referrals, answering these clients, and I was getting a lot of referrals, like maybe 10 a week. I was replying to them all, emails. I was meeting with a lot of them. Hey, let's go out for a coffee. Once they find out your pricing and everything, they vanish and ghost you and things like that. I was putting so much time and effort into it. And out of the 3 weddings that I booked with them in a year, I had to shoot 1 for free. So I got a shot of them. And I really did analyze how many leads I was getting from them, how much time I was meeting. I mean, I think I worked it out that, I can't remember what year it was. I think it was like 2018 or something like that. I'd spent $1,000 that year on Starbucks, on meetings with the knot clients, by taking them for a coffee. And I'd buy the bride a coffee, myself a coffee, and the mum of the bride a coffee. And it's like, that's just what I do. I'm that type of person. Hey, I'm going to get you a coffee. We'll sit down and talk. I spent $1,000 on it, plus the $3,000 for the knot. And it's like, no, I've just done a wedding and a half for free. So it just wasn't worth it. And I had to sit and analyze it, because a lot of people look at it and be like, wow, I booked 3 weddings out of it. I made $200, $500, maybe $6,000 out of it. And it's like, but you didn't, because half of it was on your listing and it just wasn't worth my time. How else can I spend that budget? Bridal shows. I went and did bridal shows instead of the knot. Fantastic. I got to meet people in person. The booth cost me $1,600, which was cheaper than the knot. And I was getting one-on-one people. So I kept the budget there, but just looked at different ways of doing it. Equipment. I'll be honest with you, I don't set myself a budget for equipment because I'm a nightmare at buying equipment. I really should, but I like to buy equipment. I do. That's just one of my downfalls. It's the passion, the photography passion in me. And I know I talk very much about business when it comes to photography, but if you ever get me talking about lighting and equipment, you will not shut me up even more. I mean, me and Joel, we've stood at PPLA events and just not shut up for like an hour talking about equipment and printing and things like this. It's the passion in us. So I don't set myself targets and things like that. But I do make sure I need to make back my money and things like that. So if I'm going to spend a big chunk of money on marketing, I need to set myself a target on how I'm going to make it back and how much I need to make back and things like that. But I do recommend you actually setting yourselves targets and trying to stick to them for marketing and things like that. But as a whole, I look at my income and I try to stick to a 70-30 rule. That's how I do it. So 70% of my income 30% of my income will go towards expenses. That's what I try and stick to per year. So the more money I make, the more money I get to spend. That's the target anyway. So it's really tough with photography because you know what it's like. It's there's so many unexpected things. I mean, MagMod comes out and it's like, gotta have it.
I'm
West
terrible
Top
at
bring
that.
out new lights, I've gotta have it. It's the law. It's not the law, but I get things fixated in my head, especially with equipment. Just me, but any questions so far? No, you all gone quiet. This was meant to be an open forum. What are we doing on time?
This was great, Damion.
Yeah.
Are you still there, Cheryl?
I am still awake.
All right, that's good. So anybody that doesn't know, Cheryl's just had a little addition to the family. She's got a new grandson. So she's doing fantastic to still be hanging around. But congratulations, Cheryl.
Yep, thank you.
All right. Anything else you want me to try and cover? What are we talking about? Anything business related, not about analyzing. So, I mean, I could go into business analysis like on a real deep level, but I don't want to overload you with so much information. Like, maybe we'll do something again later, but or maybe we'll have a roundtable discussion at SPX or something like that, because you're all going, I assume. Somebody ran away. Did you see that? Who ran away? Somebody's like, shit, I haven't registered.
Cheryl.
Cheryl's still there. Cheryl's going.
Oh,
I'm still here.
Mm-hmm. That was serious. As soon as I mentioned SPX, they were gone.
Lori's asking about advertising and growing up business.
So kind of marketing and things like that. Is there any area specifically? Because marketing is kind of a big thing, and it can all depend on what area of photography you're into. So what are we talking, Laurie? Are we sort of weddings or seniors or seniors, families, and headshots? Okay. All right, families. I can't help you a whole lot of families because I haven't shot a family in many, many years because I detest it. I detest family photography. I hate kids.
you have children.
Yeah, that's why I hate them. No, I'm just, I like people posing and stuff like that, but so it's finding the niche of any type of advertising. It's like seniors and let's do seniors first. So seniors is about finding the senior. What type of senior photography are you doing? And standing out from the crowd. The general senior photography is natural light, out in the kind of the fields or trees, natural settings, things like that. So if that's your type of photography, natural light and studio, okay. So, but Laurie, I see you shooting a lot. You shoot seniors a lot. I see in your work. Are you not shooting a lot? Be honest.
Ooh.
Oh, she ran away. Okay, so, but yeah, it really is about finding your client, and you do beautiful work. You've got a really good style, especially your in studio stuff. The thing that can get a little bit mixed up is when you start mixing your styles, and if you're showing outside and studio, people get a little bit confused about what you're doing. But seniors is an obvious market. Sorry, I'm still reading from Laurie. I can't talk and read at the same time. It's I'm an idiot.
Sorry.
Okay. Laurie's trying to speak. So yeah, the senior business is about standing out from the rest of them. It really is. There's so many people that are posting on Facebook, They're posting the same pictures as everybody else, and they're not doing anything different. They're posting, hey, booking 2022 seniors now, and a picture, and that's it. And it gets mixed in with the rest of them. So you've really got to go find your clients. With that, you got to go into the schools a little bit, go to sporting events, talk to the parents. If you want to get a model rep team, go get a model rep team. I don't recommend it, but look at how you're going to get referrals. But social media is your spot to be doing it. But you've really got to stand out and get interaction. So, sorry, I'm getting text after text. I don't know why. I'm just checking it's not you guys texting me. So, yeah, go and talk to people. To stand out from the crowd, go and talk to people. You've got to do something exceptional. And just sitting and waiting on Facebook and things like that isn't going to help you. It's just not going to get you the business. So go to football games, pick out the cheerleader, go and find her parents and offer to do a free photo shoot in front of all her friends. That gets you known. Do a cool photo shoot with 2 or 3 of them at the same time. Gets you known. Offer competitions for them, anything that they can interact with. Produce a magazine and do a competition for the cover. Hey, the person who gets the most likes is going to become cover of Laurie Lyman's senior magazine for 2022. It's going to get you likes, people noticing you, people looking at your pictures. It really is just finding out about it. But try not to post things on Instagram and Facebook that everybody else is doing it. Pick out your unique images to you. If I post natural light pictures of a pretty girl sat in a field, I'm not going to get bookings from it. And now I'm booking 2024 seniors because they book me for my unique images. I only show my day to night images. If you go through my Facebook and Instagram and things like that, look at my website at 044.com, you will only see day to night images. It's what I'm known for. It's what people book me for. It's what stands out from the crowd. We don't want to fall into this meh category. Yeah, they're nice. Great. Who wants to be nice? Mittens are nice, to quote Friends. I don't want to be nice. I want to be, wow, that's an amazing image, or his work is dog shit. Hate it. It's awful. I don't care which one of those I get. It's emotion. Nice. Great. It means I don't care enough to comment. So show off the work you want to sell and only show it off. Do competitions, stand out, do whatever you need to. It's really hard to get into marketing like quickly, but analyze it. Where are you getting your referrals from? Where are you getting your leads from? Are they coming through your website? Are they coming from word of mouth? I don't know. That's up to you to figure out where are your leads coming from. Then what's not happening? You're not converting leads. Maybe you're getting a lot of leads, but they're not coming back to you. Why are they not coming to you? Are you not following up with them? Are you not telling them about your sessions enough? Are you not passionate enough in your emails? Are you a bit too business-like in your emails? Are you better in person at selling to these people? So maybe you try and call people on the phone more often. Maybe you don't even call people or email people. Maybe you set everybody up with in-person sessions, in like consultations. I went through several years of doing that. Everybody that inquired with me, I'd go out and have coffee with them, invite them to my studio. You have a studio, I have a beautiful studio. Invite them into the studio. Do a meet and greet evening where you're like, hey, I'm going to be in the studio from this time. I'd love you all to come in and listen to a presentation on my work. Get 50 people in at the same time. Do one speech. Do an offer for if they come in and book that night. I don't know. There's so many little things you can do, but you're not going to know until you start seeing where your leads are coming from and why they're not booking you. If you're not getting leads, you're not getting your name out there. So what do you need to do to get your name out there? Do you need to have a model rep program? Do you need to do a sponsorship of one of the yearbook pages? I don't know what works in your area. Do you just need to go out and do a couple of free photo shoots for the star football quarterback, the head cheerleader? I don't know. Who are you targeting? Yeah. So you've got to start looking at all those things and be like, okay, so where am I not getting business? I'm not getting any leads. Why am I not getting any leads? I need to get my name out there. Here's 5 ideas that I'm going to do to get leads. I'm going to go to a football game. I'm going to talk to the head cheerleaders' parents. I know who they are because they're the ones screaming at the thing at the side at the head cheerleader. We know who the quarterback's parents are because they're screaming. Go talk to them. Go talk to them in person and get out from behind the computer. Maybe that's what it is. But sell it in person. Headshots. Who needs headshots? Who are you selling to? Businesses? Businesses are easy. Print up a flyer, print up a magazine and mail it to them. See how many you get from it. I produce a magazine, which I send out to my clients. I'll send 50, 100 little digest sized magazines out every 6 months. And I'll just pick a category and it'll be like, right, so I'm going to pick chiropractors for the next lot. And I'll Google chiropractors in Baton Rouge, get all their addresses and send them all a magazine. Sounds stupid and simple. Or a flyer. It doesn't matter what you're doing with it. Go to events. I know Joel is a fantastic networker. He's involved in so many business events. And I bet he gets business from it. I don't know. I haven't asked him, but I bet he gets business from it. He's out there in person talking to business people that own their own small businesses. It's about standing out and people remembering you and getting them booked. Is this helping at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I could talk again. I think I've done, did I do one on marketing? I can't remember. I've done a lot of business ones for PPLA and I'm getting confused on what I've done now. One day I want to talk about photography. I might do that one day, do lighting or posing or something. I don't know. That means I've got to beat Jim Byron if I'm going to do lighting. All right.
Question, Jonathan. I know at Klein Peter, you talked a little bit about Facebook, but to clarify, do you do any Facebook or Google ads?
I occasionally do a Facebook ad. If I've got, it usually comes down to the image. If I've produced an image, which I absolutely love, I'll post it on Facebook. And if I get a lot of interaction with it, I'll then boost it. But I need to see, again, I'm analyzing it before I'll boost it. So I'll look at what's getting a lot of likes, what's getting a lot of comments, what's getting a lot of shares. And then I'll boost that picture to try and get it to a wider audience. If I put a picture on there and it's got 2 likes, I'm not going to do anything with it because it's not drawing attention. So why, if nobody's looking at it and they're following me, why would people look at it and show attention to it if they don't even know who I am? So if I'm getting something that's getting a lot of attention, I'll boost it. My pageant girl that won Most Photogenic, yeah, I'm going to be boosting her picture. I want to get it out to all the photogenic people, and it's going to be headline, Most Photogenic, Miss Louisiana, USA. Come book with him. He's awesome. That's how I'm going to sell that one. but yeah, analyze what's going on with Facebook before you put money into it, because Facebook love you to waste money. They'll try and, yes, they are huge, massive company. They're a huge, massive company for a reason, because they like to take your money. So look at what you're doing before you boost anything on there. I wouldn't go out and just make an ad. But also, I know I'm running out of time, so one last quick thing. Social media is video heavy. It loves video. Anything over 3 minutes, they adore, because they want to keep it. They sell their advertising to big companies by saying, we have all these people that stay on our website for more than 3 minutes. So if you can do a video for 3 minutes, Facebook will push it to the top of everything, which will help no end. But video really does help grab the attention. People scroll through pictures now. There are so many people out there that are just doing pictures. So maybe you do. I do a lot of 15-second videos and things like that. So yeah, try and stick to video a little bit more if you can. But make your images pop. It doesn't matter what you shoot. Pick out your best images. And if you look at an image and are like, well, yeah, I'll include this one, you don't. Because if you're already like, yeah, maybe, don't. If you don't love it enough, nobody else is going to love it enough. So, all right, I think we're at time. Am I finishing on time, Joel? I think that's the first time I've ever spoken and finished on time. Where am I? What time is it? 9 o'clock.
I think we did well.
All right, guys, I will say one quick thing. If anybody has any questions about anything, by all means, Facebook me, message me or anything like that. Catch me at a PPLA event. And I hope to see you all at SPX. So I appreciate you all turning up. I'll let Joel sign us off now, but I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Damion, and
It was
as
good stuff. I
always,
wish I could have caught it earlier.
yeah,
Thank you.
always it's a pleasure, and hope to see you guys coming up March 13th in Lafayette for spring seminar also. So speaking of budgeting, we got Olivia Gray Pritchard, who's going to be talking on her $20,000 afternoon. So come see, learn how to do that. Maybe you only need to work one day a year, Lee, to buy your camera, and Olivia buy me a camera too. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight. We got some fun stuff coming up. Check the website, and thank you for being you and being part of our organization. And Damion, once again, excellent job. Thank you very much. We appreciate everything you do for us, both in front and behind the scenes. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Have a
you.
good week.
Thanks. Awesome.